welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining. Today we'll discuss another case file, the John Bennett Ramsey's audit, the Pageant Varnish, case file 71. On December 26, 1996, Boulder, Colorado, a 6-year-old girl was found in the basement room of her own home after a 911 call reporting a kidnapping. For 30 years, the world has looked at the sequins, the makeup, and the intruder who allegedly climbed through a window. That is the varnish. In case file 71, we don't look at the pageant photos. We audit the architecture of a 15th Street house. If a stranger enters a fortress, they leave a signature. If the signature is missing, the story is a lie. Point 4. The Ransom note varnish, the 3-page deflection. Let's look at the most famous tools in this case. The ransom note. 3 pages long, written on a pad from inside the house, using a pen from inside the house. Applying point 4, tactical deflection. Why write 3 pages? In a real kidnapping, time is the enemy. You want in and out, but this note is a novella of varnish. It mentions foreign factions and specific dollar amounts that matches the father's bonus. Logic tells us this wasn't a demand for money. It was an architecture of time. The note was designed to keep the police looking outside the house for a foreign faction, while the reality was settled inside. It is the ultimate tactical smokescreen, a nuclear varnish written to explain away a body that was never supposed to leave the basement. Point 2. Evidence of absence, the dust and the cobwebs. Now, look at the intruder's path. The broken basement window. The police found a suitcase under the window and a scuff mark. But look at point 2, evidence of absence. There was a cobweb across from that frame. It was undisturbed. There was a layer of dust on the steel. It was untouched. If an intruder enters through that window in the dark, physics dictate that the dust in the web must be destroyed. Please let me reread that. If an intruder enters through the last window in the dark, physics dictate that the dust in the web must be destroyed. The evidence of absence proves that while the window was broken, it was not an entry point. Again, it was not an entry point. It was point 3, a stage scene. It was varnish, meant to point the finger at the outside world. Point 3, the architecture of the act, the basement room. Let's audit the wine cellar where the body was found. It is a remote, windowless room in a sprawling, multi-level basement. To a stranger, this house is a labyrinth. To a resident, it is a space. How does an intruder navigate a dark, strange house? Find the child's bedroom on the 2nd floor, take her to a specific room in the basement, and spend hours staging a scene without waking a soul. The architecture tells us this wasn't a journey of discovery by a stranger. It was a journey of familiarity. The choice of that specific room, the cold room, shows an intimate knowledge of the home's layout. It was the only place in the house where the act could be from the rest of the world. Again, it was the only act in the house that can be concealed from the rest of the world. Point 5, human nature. The protective logic. Finally, we look at the aftermath. The missing tool in the investigation was the immediate of the house. Because the police was blinded by the ransom note varnish, they allowed the scene to be contaminated. Human nature tells us that in the face of a structural catastrophe, a family will use whatever varnish is available to protect the architecture of the future. The note, the window, and the foreign faction were all bricks in a wall built to withstand a forensic audit. They didn't solve the case because they were looking for a monster when they should have been looking at the floor plan. The conclusion, the architectural verdict: John Bennett Ramsey wasn't a victim of a foreign faction. She was a victim of a structural failure within a space. And when you strip away the 3-page letter and the broken glass, the only thing left is the house, and the house doesn't lie. I'm the investigator. I see the cobwebs that the expert stepped over. Case file 71 has audited this basement. Continue using the logic I am providing to solve cold cases, unsolved mysteries, or any other type of cases. Please feel free to subscribe to the Bureau. Again, thank you for joining me.